think learning to code is only for people who want to be software engineers, that could be farther from the truth. Even if you don't want a career in tech, coding can transform your life in many surprising ways. Today, I'll share why you should still consider to learn code even if you don't want a career in tech, and how it can unlock skills that can benefit you in almost any career and any personal project. Let's go ahead and dive in. So if you're new, my name's Zazo. I've been coding for about 10 years. I've worked in the tech industry for about 8 years, from jobs ranging from software engineering all the way to data analytics and data science. So I know a little thing about learning code, and coding has helped me in not only my professional career, but also in my personal life. So the first reason why you should actually consider to learning code, even if you don't want a career in tech, is it actually improves your problem solving skills. So coding kind of trains your brain to break down complex problems into smaller, manageable, and digestible steps. So this isn't only useful for just writing software programs or doing data analytics. It's an invaluable skill for decision making, strategic thinking, and tackling everyday challenges. So one of the examples is if you're putting together a huge event, right? And you have all these different things. You got to worry about vendors, you got to worry about food, you got to worry about drinks, you got to worry about a whole bunch of things, not even including the main event itself. Learning to think like a coder kind of allows you to break all those things down and tackle them one by one in a very strategic way. And you're able to tackle these big tasks and put people in the right places in order to kind of, design an efficient solution, something that was really daunting, into smaller steps, and you're just executing. So another reason why is learning to code isn't just a technical thing. Yes, it is very technical, but it's also very creative because there's many different solutions to solve the same problem, and that's kind of where the creativity comes from. So you can essentially with code build anything you really want, right? You can build something like a weather app that is personalized and customized to your needs and wants, right? Or you can make a personal website, and this goes for any type of career. If you're a realtor, you can do this. If you're just a freelancer, you can do this. Whatever it may be, you can do something like a tool that helps your community or even helps your personal life. So when I was first with my wife and we were dating, we always had this back and forth on, what do you want to eat? I want to eat this. Oh no, I don't want to eat that. Blah, 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 blah. We always had that kind of back and forth. Didn't know what I wanted to eat. She would suggest something. I didn't want that. Blah, 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 blah. So I had an idea to come up with an app. And this app would essentially grab restaurants that were around us. And it would basically, you could filter, tacos, burgers, whatever. And you would just be able to randomly generate a restaurant. So we would agree on basically the parameters of what we want to eat. If we wanted to go outside of our area, if we wanted to stay local, then we wanted tacos, burgers, pasta, whatever it may be. Select that and then just hit a button, and it would generate a random restaurant, and that's where we would go, and we would go eat. It didn't always solve the problem, but it was a fun project to kind of use in personal life and just see what I can make from it. All right, so this is the third thing, and this is probably my favorite thing. It can help you automate tedious tasks in just about any job. Let's be real. In pretty much any job, there's some type of admin task that you just don't like doing. It's just repetitive and it's tedious and it may be very manual. These are the perfect tasks for coding. Even knowing a little bit of Python or something that a scripting language that you can really whip up something really easy and fast can really help these tasks and allow your brain and your energy and your time to be focused on more important things and thinking about making a business decision or strategic thinking or something in the future, rather than worrying about this task over here. So example is like a lot of people in their day-to-day will have Excel spreadsheets that they're just like doing data entry. They're just putting stuff in a spreadsheet, right? Python's very, very equipped to helping automate that task. And now you can just let a script run every day to do your data entry, and you can start focusing on other things, right? You don't have to continuously just sit there and just copy and paste or enter in numbers or anything like that. And you can actually be so much more productive in whatever role you're in. And if you're not in a tech role, kind of makes you stand out more because you're automating that task and chances are people around you don't come equipped with the same skills, makes you look like the hero of the office. Bada boom, bada bang, you look like a superhero. All right, but this isn't the only thing that is kind of good for your everyday, job. I'm going to get into the next one. So the next one is unlocking a better understanding of technology. So what do I mean by this, right? In today's world, technology is touching everything in every industry across from healthcare all the way to, construction, everything. There's technology everywhere from that end of the spectrum to that end of the spectrum and everything in between, right? And we know this. So learning to code would actually give you a better understanding of how technology is working together. So even if you're not directly coding in your role, you're able to understand how the software around you is working, and you can actually influence better how it's built, right? Imagine, your software team or your tech team is building an application and you don't have any awareness on how technology works. So you're saying one thing and they're giving you complete garbage compared to what you want, right? But if you have a little bit of insight on, let's say, how to work with an API, or just a little thing on how to automate this, how to take data from a database and do this with it. If you have that insight, you can speak in essentially tech talk, and you'll be able to get your message across a lot better. So if your tech team is building something for you, because you understand the inner workings, you're able to kind of influence a better end product that you're going to end up using as the end user. So everything just kind of works better. It's just better for making smarter decisions about these tech solutions. And it'll really set your company, if it's your personal company, if it's company you work for, on a better kind of trajectory, because they have somebody on the other side that can kind of influence those tech projects, whereas maybe your entire team has no understanding of how code or how tech actually works. So now I've spoke about a lot of the professional ways that you can kind of use coding. This one, I'm going to get into one of the personal ways that you can kind of embrace coding. So you can actually empower your personal projects, right? You can create a whole bunch of things that are very custom and tailored to you, whereas most of the stuff that's there's either a lot of configuration that you have to do, you have to pay for it, whole bunch of other things you have to worry about kind of doing. So if you learn to code, you can kind of just make everything tailored to you. So if you want to do a budget tracker, an expense tracker, right? Instead of hooking up all your bank account information, you can essentially do it internally and just make sure that everything is going, pulling stuff from your bank statements, wherever, and you can kind of have that all filtering into one place, and you can have your budget tracker, categorize things how you would like. If there's certain categories you want that you don't have in these other platforms, or something like a fitness journal, being able to somehow take data from whether it be an Apple Watch or whatever it is, and kind of feeding it to your system to kind of personalize your fitness journey, that type of thing, where you don't maybe want to add all the data independently. You want it to be automated and flow straight through. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with this. One of my personal favorites is building stuff to personalize learning. If you want to learn something that, you find interesting, but all the stuff out there is very general and very vague, you can kind of personalize your own learning with like a personalized learning app, and kind of see what you can build through just having that coding knowledge and being able to code, and then get something that actually fits your exact needs. So this is another professional one, and it's kind of something I hinted at the beginning, and you'll be able to stand out in your current career, or even in future careers that you apply for, even if they are not tech careers, right? So even if your job does not require coding, having the skill on your resume sets you apart. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's because employers, no matter what field you're in, love people who can problem solve. And coding is literally made for problem solving in the most like analytical form. And when you're hiring somebody that can code or that is tech savvy, you already know you're bringing extra value to the team. Therefore, that's going to actually raise some eyebrows as far as like whatever you're actually applying for. If you have coding on your resume, it doesn't have to be any type of crazy thing, but having coding on your resume, even if you're going into a non-tech job, right, really brings value to the team for not only the coding reason. Let's say you don't code at all on the job, which is fine, but the employers already know most of the time what it takes to be able to learn to code. So they already kind of know coming in the person that they're getting. One, coding's not easy. It's very hard to kind of learn. It's easier now with the landscape of, AI and things like that, but it's still a fairly hard thing to learn, generally speaking. So they know they're coming in, somebody that has some type of determination, dedication, that is really resilient, because coding will knock you down and you gotta continue to get back up. And that can think analytically and think in a problem solving way. So they already know if you learn to code, or you have some type of coding knowledge that especially if you've done it on your own, not necessarily went to school for it, but if you've done it on your own, they already know kind of your characteristics and your personality, because the things that you've had to do to learn that skill, that isn't exactly the easiest skill to learn, right? Because you can go to school for computer science, or you can go to school for software engineering and come out and still not know how to code. So a lot of employers do know what it takes to do this, and they really want people that can think analytically, and you're just going to be bringing that extra value to your team. So if you have been thinking that coding is just for people that are chasing these tech jobs, you're wrong, right? And the skills that you develop will help you solve problems, unlock your creativity, automate tasks across your field, and even personal projects. So if you like this video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. I'm out. I'll see you on the next one. Love, peace, and chicken grease.